You're watching the Original Music Podcast with your hosts Raymond Hems and Rick Gaffman.
All right, here we go. Episode 38. Tonight we have Ghosthead on, a progressive rock band, I'd call them, out of Atlanta. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Doing great.
Thanks for having us.
So we have.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Renzo, myself, Ray Hems, and Rick Gaffman here. We have Renzo playing bass and singing, right?
Yeah.
And then Garret playing guitars, and who is kind of the lead. Who writes the material? Do you guys do it collaboratively, or how does this all work with Ghosthead?
I guess I would say I'm pretty much the one who kind of brings forth the idea. It usually starts with a riff.
Sure.
I'll usually have like a riff or a chorus idea. I'll send it to Renzo, and if Renzo likes it, he'll kind of pick it apart and like do his thing on it. I think that's for like 90% of the songs too. I mean, like it usually just starts with one riff, and then we kind of just build upon that.
Yeah, that's very similar on the way, a lot of the stuff that I do with Giza or Hope's Anchor. It all starts with a riff, and it actually starts with a riff and a reaction.
Yeah.
If there's no reaction, from the other guys in the band,
exactly,
it goes in the filing cabinet for later.
Not necessarily.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily every time. You gotta.
Yeah.
It might hit you in a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's actually happened to me before.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's Garret was sending me an idea, and it may not hit me right away, but I always kind of leave it, and come back to it maybe a week or two.
Well, if something's played and you actually remember it, then it was never. You should have never stopped working on it, because Ray's thrown out a couple. Like every time we rehearse together, we end up just warming up a little bit for 5 minutes, where he'll start playing something, and
getting
Michael,
levels.
our bass player, is getting levels.
Yeah.
And I'll jump in with a groove, and most of the time it's like, wow, that was killer. Did you hit record? No, forgot. Fuck, great. Good job. Way to go. Because it's how we come up with new shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we've got 3 I know floating around that none of us are going to remember because we're old.
Yeah.
That we should have recorded because they were great grooves. But that's
with us we try to record everything. Like at our practice space, I guess we have like we use Scarlett Focusrite 18i20. It's only like an 8-track.
Yeah.
But it's able to hook up. I mean, it's just the 3 of us, right? Or guitar, bass, drums, and it's enough tracks to hook up to pretty much all of us, just instrumentally. And whatever we practice, whatever we do, I always try and make sure that we record the practices. Just so for my sake as well, so I can just listen back and see what I did. Because there's some songs where I make a mistake on the song that we're practicing.
Yep.
But I love it.
happy mistakes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I'll actually kind of use that in practice. I'll go back and just did what I, accidentally played.
Yep. 100%.
And it works out great. And that's why I like recording.
Yeah. Now,
and just like listening back as well.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear the song and just make sure that it does feel right.
Yeah. Do you? So you're using how are you doing that recording? Like I'm using an X32 and we're all in ears and stuff. Are you using that type of thing? And
no, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not very technical at all. We're pretty bare bones for the most part. We don't do in-ears, although I've used in-ears before. It's not for me. I kind of just like having that. I mean, obviously I wear earplugs, but I'd rather have the earplugs than the in-ears for me personally. When we practice, it has a better feel when we're practicing together, when we're rehearsing. Because I mean, Hayden's like a crazy. That's our drummer, or who's helping us right now.
Yeah.
And when I hear him play, I kind of just want to hear. I kind of just want to focus on his playing. I don't want to hear what I'm playing necessarily, if that makes sense with the in-ears. So I'd rather just kind of like have like his energy. I kind of want to like have like that. I just want to hear it, the energy, and then I balance it out. And I kind of like thrive off his energy. Yeah, and it helps with the practice.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Where do you guys rehearse?
So we used to rehearse at my old location in Lawrenceville, which is northeast, I guess, of Atlanta.
Yeah.
We had a basement down there, and that we used to practice at, and that's where we recorded everything too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you it sounds like you guys are rehearsing with live acoustic drums, amplifiers for the bass, amplifiers for the guitars.
Yeah. I wanted to keep it as real as possible. Like I was so against using samples and stuff like that with the recordings.
Yeah.
When I would go back in and kind of just like mess around with the recordings and stuff like that, I didn't want to use drum samples. Personally, I wanted to have like that raw rock band feel.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, Hayden's drums sound great in my opinion, and like,
80s.
And I like.
I'm sorry. Did you say
sound.
80s drums?
Hayden.
Hayden. Oh,
Hayden's. That's our drummer. Yeah.
What's his last name? What's Hayden's last name?
Hayden Wall.
And what's Garret?
You may know him. He's around.
Yeah. What's Garrett's last name?
My last name?
Yep.
Lineman.
And what's Renzo's last name?
It's Ruiz. If you say it with a Spanish, accent, but a lot of people just say Ruiz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ruiz. Is that R-U-I-Z?
Yeah.
Yep.
R-U-I-Z.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's how often do you guys get together? Is this like a weekly therapy for us? We get together pretty religiously on Sunday afternoons.
Yeah.
And let's clear our brains to go into the next week with our the daily grind of the day job kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys get together like that for that reason and that often, or?
For a long time, yes. Our situation has kind of changed. But like for about like 2 or 3 years, yeah. I mean, it was Sundays.
Yeah.
Sometimes like a couple days a week, but yeah, mostly Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what's Renzo? What's your background? What made you start playing bass? How old were you when you started getting into music? That kind of thing.
So I must have been maybe 14, 13 when I really started to get into, music and playing and stuff. I started playing guitar, I remember. And it was just before I moved to America, from Peru. I'm Peruvian, my background.
Cool.
And I remember I was trying to learn English, so I was getting into more of the lyrics. That was a really helpful way of learning English, I think. Just learning all the lyrics and whichever word I didn't understand or didn't know, I would just try to figure out what it was, look it up on a dictionary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was 14, and then in ninth grade, I signed up for a string class, and I just took off from there. Yeah.
In high school, you had string class?
Yeah. It was like the symphony. I played the upright bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And,
who are some of your influences band-wise?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a great question, man. I've listened to so much stuff, including stuff from my own home country, like South Salvadoran. But what really got me going with the guitar and bass was a lot of 90s stuff, a lot of grunge, a lot of a lot of Pantera, a lot of Lamb of God.
Okay, so the heavy side of the 90s.
The heavy side. But then, funny enough, I started playing because I was pretty antisocial when I was younger. When I was in high school, and it was hard for me to make friends. So my parents would take me to church. It was a Baptist church.
Sure.
And they ended up needing a bassist, and I somehow I got the spot, and I started playing church music. It was an old Baptist church.
Yeah.
So I got my hands on that, and soon enough I started branching out into like Weather Report, like just jazz stuff, like Jacko.
There it is.
And and so and I've just kind of been listening to everything I can get my hands on for inspiration, for practice as well, so yeah.
Yeah, it's good to cover the gamut and listen to everything, right?
Do you? Yeah, totally. Do you have is there a particular musician bass-wise that you look up to, that you as a role model, or somebody that
Who's the guy? There's
Like
everybody's got a guy.
Yeah, like
Wow.
for
Yeah.
me, Neil Peart and Mike Portnoy, all
Oh, yeah,
those
hell
guys.
yeah.
As far as in the progressive rock, the prog rock genre.
Yeah. Well, man, as far as rock, I would say, Justin Chandler from Tool, he's fucking amazing. Who else? Man, there's so many guys out there. Definitely Jacko is another guy that I really just love listening to. Not even just play, just listening to, his rhythm, his cadence, his tone, I mean, the fact that he was able to play fretless as well,
Sure.
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But
intonations and
intonation,
control.
yeah, totally. So yeah, that's at least a couple of guys there. A lot of the funky stuff too, from the '70s, like a lot of the and I don't know the names, but I love listening to Stevie Wonder, for instance. Like all those bass parts are killer.
Yeah, Motown.
Of course they were.
Yeah.
The Motown stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
man.
Yeah.
That traveled all through every era
Yeah.
of every style of music.
Yeah, and
it did.
which is why I decided to get I wanted to get a precision bass, jazz bass, but I ended up getting a Music Man Cutlass, which is kind of the same.
Yeah.
It looks the same. And it sounds great. I mean, and the cool thing is too, it's like you have split single coils.
Yep.
Or but it sounds like a humbucker almost. So that's one thing I love about my bass. So,
And what are you using for tone? Are you using a preamp or what's your rig?
no, I'm pretty minimal when it comes to tone, but if it sounds good, I'm playing through an MPEG BA 115 combo bass amp, which is basically 150 watt combo amp with a single 15-inch speaker.
Yeah.
And I can get all kinds of tones from that thing, man. But yeah.
I mean, you don't need a lot.
Nah. Well, we found that out the other night at Mad Life.
Yeah.
Like bass rig, the bass rig, they went from having a 410 Jampeg cabinet, with an Ampeg head, to this tiny little.
No, it's actually an 810.
810, you're right. They went from an 810 cabinet, to this small little thing that was this tall with a tiny little head, and it sounded fucking amazing.
Wow.
I could not believe my ears.
Yeah, but the reason it sounded amazing though was because
We're badass. Oh no,
yeah.
I thought,
yeah, we're badass. No,
Hell yeah. We gotta catch you guys live sometime.
yeah. We use
Michael's badass, our bass player.
Yeah, he is. We use a Tech 21 preamp, and they've got many different kinds.
The Doug.
Yeah, we use the Doug Pinnick preamp, and XLR out of that right to the house.
Yeah.
And the amp is really there just for stage prop or volume.
Yeah.
Monitor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Garret, same question to you. What was your influences playing music? When did you start playing guitar, and how did it all start?
Yeah. Oh man, it's kind of strange. I want to say, like, so I played drums first before I picked up guitar. I picked up guitar pretty late. I played drums. Actually, I guess I'll go a little further back than that. I guess I started playing music when I was in middle school, and I took a band class. I picked up clarinet, and I played for like 6 months. I was terrible. Eventually, I was still listening to music constantly. I didn't keep playing the clarinet, but around like 15, 16, there was this video game that came out, right? It's called Rock Band 3, I believe.
Mm.
And you could play the drums, right?
Yeah.
And I got hooked to it. In fact, it's so much so that I actually broke the first pad that I got. Like, it comes with a pad and everything. You have like a little plastic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I broke the pad, and I, got a new pad, and I kept playing. And eventually begged my mom to give me a drum set. And, we had a basement and stuff like that. So that's where I would practice the drums. And I would play almost every single night.
Yeah.
I wasn't that great. I just love doing it.
Yeah,
It's fun. You're just beating the crap out of something, right?
Yeah.
But it's still fun. Like it has like a creativeness to it. Rick,
Yep.
And I found a band eventually that would take me in, and I was still learning a lot. And it took me for I was really bad. obviously everybody starts off kind of rough.
Yeah.
And it took me to like one show where somebody, after we played the show, and I was with the new band that I was in, I think I was like 18 or something like that. Somebody just like walked up and was just like, yeah, you're really, really bad, or, you know, some other choice words.
Yeah.
And that like motivated me to just focus so hard on the drums. And that's all I did. That's like, I would listen to the metronome nonstop.
Yeah.
And like, it completely like pulled, I just needed that motivation, I guess. And I've definitely felt like I got better. I was playing in another band too with drums. It didn't really last very long, but I definitely felt like I was getting better. And the whole thing with playing drums first, I think, is actually what made me a really good guitarist. Like when I transitioned over, because like you learn rhythm, you learn timing, all tempo, all that stuff. You learn time signatures, all that stuff. And picked up guitar, I think, when I was like 19 or 20. So I guess late in the game I picked up guitar, but I was a drummer first.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things out of that I pull from what you guys are both saying is, you know, everybody wants to that gets into music, either wants to be, you know, an amazing rock star right out of the gate because, you know, it's instant gratification type of society now. And I think playing music and becoming a musician, you're not a musician when you first start.
No.
It's hard. It's hard work, practice, just being deliberate and diligent. And like you said, I played every night, just because it was fun and I sucked and I knew I sucked and I wanted to get better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did your parents back you up when you were going through that particular phase he's talking about?
Definitely. Yeah. It was,
Really?
yeah, it was my mom, my sister, and they supported me for sure.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire time. In fact, so much so, like all the band practices were at the house.
Yeah.
So they liked the music, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about when you first started and said, I want to start doing this, and you're sitting there just making noise in the house. None of it made sense to anybody, including you.
It's just racket. Yeah, I know.
Your parents were cool with it?
They were fine. I mean, yeah, for the most part. I mean, I guess when I was playing drums first, it's just like a boom, da, boom, da, you know, like very simple.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, my mom's old school, and she was probably like, "Oh, yeah, that sounds really good."
You're the best drummer I've ever
heard. Yeah,
you're the best drummer in this house.
I've never heard that from anybody. I'm just saying that's probably what.
No, I don't know. It worked for me. It's I guess I don't know.
Well, that's good.
But I'll tell you this though. Did you asked Renzo his inspiration?
Yeah.
Musical inspiration. So one of my biggest inspirations, I don't know, I'm so bad at saying this guy's name, but it's like Thomas Hike or Thomas Hikey or something like that from Meshuggah. Have you heard of a band called Meshuggah?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know the individuals in the band, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, like that drummer is insane, and he's probably even my influence as a guitar player, if that makes sense. It's kind of strange, maybe.
Rhythmically?
Yeah.
Rhythmically?
Yeah, for sure.
Let me pronounce my words correctly real quick.
No, the drummer, he has like 2 layers. It's crazy. The way that he plays.
So you guys, you know, you got going on your instruments. Renzo, you were in Peru?
No, I started playing when I was here, actually, when I got here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more. I mean, you know, I was just finding things to do, and I mean, I love music from the get go, but soon find out that it was very cathartic. You know, it was a culture shock, and it's almost like I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's almost like I found refuge and just being in my room and just trying to figure out what this riff is. You know, and playing it over and over again. You know, I was playing it through Windows Media Player, and at the time. And I was downloading a shit ton of music off of LimeWire and Aries and all these programs that, you know, like sometimes would download like porn and without even meaning to, you know. And I remember getting in trouble for that too. Once my dad thought I was doing it. But I'm like, dude, it says Nirvana in 1991, you know, in Seattle or somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
But but that was why I started. Anything, you know, it's more cathartic. Yeah.
Yeah. So just the question that I like to ask is kind of my go-to is when we're talking about this type of stuff. What was the very first record that, with your own money, or you promised to do extra chores around the house, if you guys would just buy me this record? What was that prized possession first record that you got? Start with Renzo.
Oh man, that's a great question. And because in Peru, it was hard to get a hold of original CDs. There was a lot of piracy going on, but I wanted to get the original works, and those were super expensive at the time. So I would buy like the pirate versions, the bootleg versions, of but the one I remember like saving up for a lot and finally getting was it was a Slipknot CD called Iowa, the second album. And I mean, I saved. I remember someone stole like I would say like it was $10, but at the time it was $10 in Peruvian currency. It was like 40. We have soles, and that set me back a couple months. I was so pissed. I remember, but that was the one record that I suffered the most just to get to save up for and to get. Yeah.
And when you got it, how many times over and over and over and over did you play it?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, the first time I played it, I played it out loud, and my mom always tried to, throw it away because she was like, "This is from the devil," what? So I had to like sneak it at night, and I got a hold of a CD player, and just like at night, just listen to it without anyone knowing.
Headphones, right?
Yeah, headphones and all that stuff, man.
Yeah. Garrett, what about you? What was that first prized possession record that you had to have?
I think there was two really, and they're both very different genres. But the first one probably be Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park. And then the second one's probably going to be Outkast. One of the Outkast, I think it's Speaker Box.
Yeah,
that came a little bit later. I was in high school, I think.
Yeah, both are great.
But yeah,
polar opposites, though, right?
Yeah,
I know. I listen to a little bit of everything, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's good. Again, I think that's what makes your sound. When you
that's true.
When you why wouldn't I put chili peppers, hot peppers in my cake?
Totally agree. Yeah. Peanut butter on my cheeseburger is the bomb.
It is.
I like the chili peppers a little bit too. You know, it's like listen to everything, but also like I said, like heavy metal as well. I'm a Slipknot fan as well. Yeah. So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Garrett, we talked about Renzo's gear on the track Run that we're going to play in a little bit.
Yep.
I told you I thought it sounded like a single coil, and you said you play a Telecaster. What's your rig rundown?
So, man, I am not a technical person a lot. So you said P90. I guess at the time when you asked that, I kind of like, I was just like, oh yeah, but now that I know what you meant, that you were talking about the pickup.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I still have all like the original the stock pickups and stuff like that.
Sure.
In fact, everything is still stock. I am very like bare minimum. It's actually kind of embarrassing how bare minimum I am.
Yeah. I
just kind of focus more on the playing aspect of it. And yeah, so I mean, I have stock pickups. I guess this is my Telly. This is like my main guitar.
Oh yeah, nice blonde.
Oh yeah. This is like 8 years old. It's an 8-year-old guitar. I love that guitar. That's like my main guitar. I played Strat before that, but the Strat, like whenever like you would tune it to something else, I mean, all the other strings you have to tune as well, because it didn't have a fixed bridge, and I was just went with the Telly because I still want to have a Strat sound.
Yep.
But without the bridge issues. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Hold on. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. So
I know the difference between a Telly and a Strat.
Right.
But how would you ever get a Strat sound out of a Telly?
They're both single coil configurations, and they have a bell tone. Like a Strat has a five selector pickup selector that you can get
split the coils.
Yeah, you can get some really different sounds. You can get 5 different sounds out of that.
Tellys have always just sounded really thin to me compared to a Strat.
Yeah. Well, the Telly's got 3 positions, right? You got neck,
and you got 5 on
middle
the Strat. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But the tonality and they're really close cousins.
Okay.
I would say.
Question answered.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say like with the strat, I mean, it's all about the bridge for me. I mean, I guess I could have like I've seen people put like a block
Sure.
under, to kind of like fix the bridge, and
Yep.
so you don't have to retune.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me because we change tunes all the time. I think we've changed tunes or tuning maybe like 3 times a set. I mean, for us that's a lot.
Sure.
So we just want to keep it like pretty straightforward when we play the set.
What are your tunings?
So we play half step down, so half step standard.
Yep.
And then I guess C sharps, drop C sharp.
Yep. Drop C
Drop.
sharp.
And we also play all half step down, but we also played with the E string, I guess, like the thickest string. We play it's A flat. There's a couple songs. In fact, one of the songs that we sent you has
not Run, it's Destiny. It's
it's the second song, not Run.
Yeah.
Run is C sharp.
Okay.
But yeah. Hopefully I'm saying all that correctly.
No, you are.
That's the thing, man. Like, I am not very technical about that, like music theory and stuff like that. I think I know a little. I have a good grasp on it.
Yeah.
I think you do. Yeah, you're underselling yourself.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
but it's weird. It's like I just kind of focus more on just the playing part of it. I know it's weird.
Yeah. If you're not focused on, writing. Writing interesting stuff and then, performing it, that's pretty much step one and step two. Working on your rock and roll moves with the big arms and some of those other things, that's all frivolous. That's
exactly.
third or fourth step kind
The
of
chick
stuff.
bait.
Yeah, chick bait.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When you do the A flat tuning, do you have a second guitar? Like I use in Giza, I'm in standard drop D, and all my buddies kind of laugh at me when they come into my room and I've got all these guitars on the wall, and they're like, "Which one's in standard?" I'm like, "None of them, none of them."
Yeah.
But when I go to drops,
out of 40 guitars, you would think there'd be at least one.
Okay, there's two. There's two. Yeah, there's two. But
how many guitars do you own, Rick? I mean, Ray.
I hate to say it, but I think as of my wife,
let's just put it this way: it's his retirement fund.
my wife's gonna watch this. 62.
Okay. Wait, yeah, we didn't hear that.
Bros don't tattle on bros.
What's your favorite guitar, Ray?
I'm in this mode right now where the Schecter Sustainiac Floyd Rose guitar has changed my whole way of playing since.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing guitar.
Since 2020, I was always a Gibson guy or a Fender guy, and when I got these things, it just allowed me to totally change.
You make some fucking sing, I can tell you that.
That's what it does. It really. I don't play a lot of speed runs and all that kind of stuff. I do a lot of boomer bends because I'm a boomer. But
I do that too.
Yeah, I mean, I joked on one podcast. I joked on one podcast. I said, I bend a note, I'll bend a whole step and give it sweet vibrato, just so I have time to think about what I'm going to do next.
That's a good tactic right there.
Yeah.
Give my brain a second to catch up. But yeah, I'm doing a lot of Schecter stuff right now. I think
that's what the
All right. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Drum fills are kind of the same way. That's a very interesting point. Is that a drum fill is almost like a sigh, a big deep breath sigh.
That's exactly what it is.
And what I call turn signal for the crowd.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, take a deep breath, and we're going to part B or whatever part of the song. But it's playing original music. We're on the Original Music Podcast. The beauty of it is it came out of your brain.
He was almost said it came out of your ass.
Yeah, it came out of your ass. But mostly it can be whatever you want it to be on any given night. Hopefully you land on the right notes and the turn signals and everything is good.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have a hard time playing the same thing the same way.
We all do. Us too, especially. Have you guys done your own stuff and fucked it up and like?
Oh yeah.
In a show, during a show.
Jesus, man. We've had some moments for sure. Yeah. It's mostly me, like Renzo and Hayden. Like you guys, holy shit, you guys hold it down. And I'm the one like sweating and like
Well, if I mess up, no one really paid attention to me. It's mostly guitars, and drums maybe. But yeah. I go under the radar a lot sometimes.
Yeah, the most important part of a band, the rhythm section.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's so true though. It's so true.
Yeah, and Hayden always holds it down. He's phenomenal, man. Shout out to Hayden Wall, by the way.
Yeah, I wish he was here with us right now. To talk with you guys.
Dial him up. Let's get him on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we can get him tonight.
I think he's playing at the Moon Tavern tonight.
Who else does he play with? Can we say?
So his main band I know is it's called Potch, Potch.
Yeah. Okay.
And I met Hayden about 5 years ago, or maybe more now, 6 years ago. We were playing a gig. I was in a different band at the time, and it was called that band was called Sadatia. And but Hayden was playing with this band called Kukashka, and they were all over the place. They were really it was a crazy type of act. I mean, the music was how would you describe the music? Like Garrett, how would you describe like
Kukashka?
Yeah,
just absolute, like chaos,
like Mr. Bungle meets like another
chaos.
crazy band,
Yeah.
But to my point, Hayden was just so tight, man, and that's how we knew from him or of him, and then we hit him up. But yeah, so he plays in Podge, and then he does other side projects as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he playing drums for a living, or does everybody have day jobs?
He wants to.
Yeah.
He went to school for it. Like he went to Atlanta Institute of Music.
Yep.
So yeah, I think he's trying to do it for a living.
Yeah. That and if you're trying to do this for a living, playing original music, yeah, it's a tough.
It is. That leads me to my question that I always ask that Ray hated for a long time, but I haven't asked it for a long time. But I'm going to ask you guys because you're pups anyway.
Yeah.
So how old are you two?
We're the same age, right? We're 32. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I thought you were younger than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah.
So you still have
that's
time.
only gonna last for a few more years. Yeah. And then,
You still have time to where something could possibly happen. You never know. Someone, that right person could see what you guys are doing, and hopefully, it'd be awesome if it was through here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know. I mean, Garrett and I have talked about this, and I mean, we're musicians at heart, so it's not something that. I mean, we're gonna stop doing it. Yeah, at least I don't see myself ever stop playing. I mean, that's non-negotiable for me. But if something does,
it's in you.
That's right. But if something sticks on the wall, if something sticks rather, then sure, why not?
Yeah. It's a hard thing to have the dream of getting the record deal and going on tour and all that kind of stuff.
Well, these days it just doesn't exist. I mean, it's got to be a special situation for anything seriously to happen that's going to be worth devoting all of your time to. Whether you're married or not, or have a job, whatever it is. I mean, it's got to be something special that you've got going on, and the right person seeing you to make you say, all right, I'm going to stop everything I'm doing, and this is all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You have to have booking agents. You have to have a manager. You have to have somebody that's putting the guide, because we're players, right? None of us do this shit. I don't want to book.
Yeah.
I don't want to manage.
Yeah, dude.
I don't want to do any of that bullshit. I just want to play. I'm a drummer. But to get all that to come together is it's damn near impossible. At our age, raising mine, we're seriously, legitimately doing it for fun these days.
Well, but we also have to do everything ourselves.
And what we're doing is damn good.
That too. Yeah. No, that's I've been looking at it. We're just doing it for fun. I still want to have like this big breakout. But come on, like you have to have. It's like winning the lottery, you know. You have to have just like the right song at the right time with everything, you know, just everything aligns. But also, I do agree that we also, at least in my opinion, we gotta do everything ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm with you where I just want to play the music, and also I really like producing the music as well. It's both things, but as far as like the business side of it, I blank out, and it's like the only time I ever log in for social media or anything like that, it's not even for me, it's for the band.
Yeah.
And that's it. So
yeah, my whole social media is nothing but bands and music. It's not, I don't even post anything regarding my day job or you know, like and people that are, you know me from my day job, they're like, how come you don't have anything about what you do, you know, every day? I was like, I do music every day.
Right.
I also
shut up and skate.
Yeah, shut up. But yeah, it's an interesting thing that you just have to do it for the passion because I think one of you said it that you know I don't ever intend to quit playing music.
Well, you can't. You can't.
No.
When it's in you, like it's
started
in
off. You get good at it, and it's like, why stop? Because you're reached like an age where you can't anymore. It's like I don't know. Me and Renzo, we've talked about it a few times. Like, you know, I joked about it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just play music until I'm 27 because that's the age, right? 27.
Yeah, that's
like
the number.
27 club or whatnot. You know, 5 years later, I'm here, and it's just like, oh yeah, let's keep going. Like we're writing some good stuff. I feel like stuff that gets me energized. Like that motivates me. Like I'm really proud of some of the stuff that we play. I mean, I hope I'm not sounding pretentious by saying that, but like a lot of the songs, like if I'm at the gym or something like that, or in the car, I listen to our stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm in two different bands, raised in two different bands. And all three bands are really good. So yeah, when you're producing and putting out music that's really good and you enjoy listening to yourself, you know that the people around you are going to like it as well, and they're going to support you. And it's just the older you get, the better the music's going to get.
For sure.
You know, the more tools you're going to have in your tool belt, the more ideas you're going to have in your head. You know, things come and go for me at times, if that makes any sense. As far as chops
definitely
go, you know, it depends on what we're doing or what I'm doing. It's like, all right, sometimes it's, wow, that was really cool. Let's keep that one. Sometimes it's like, throw that one away. You know, I've been doing that since 1987, you know, whatever. But
well, Rick brings
I think we're getting to that point as well. Whereas like we have a lot of music, we have like probably like I want to say 30 plus songs between me and Renzo, and like we met like 5 years ago, and I feel like between then and now, like we progressed in our songwriting so much.
Evolution.
Renzo said it. He's like he felt it himself, like where it sounds the music sounds like it's matured so much.
Yeah,
because 5 years ago, we probably could have been comparable to like the Chili Peppers, right? But now,
I actually said that
hard rock.
Yeah, you said
it sounded like Chad Smith playing with, and I forget who I said. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go on.
Yeah, you said funk.
Wait, Chad Smith playing with whom?
When I first listened to the song that you sent in, it sounded like to me. I'm like, wow, I sat here just with my eyes closed going, that sounds like Chad Smith playing progressive funk. Or something.
Progressive funk.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of part of my like drum influence coming out on guitar as well. It's just having that percussiveness. And so I was very into funk when I was playing guitar.
And syncopation, I might add.
Syncopation,
yeah.
Well, that's a good time, I think, to let's run it. We're going to play the song Run.
Let him finish his thought real quick. I apologize for interrupting you.
What were we talking about?
That's what I figured. I'm the same way. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
Idea killer. Well, let's play "Run" from the band Ghosthead, and we'll be back in just a second. Check this out. And there you have it.
Yep.
Hey, stranger.
Oh yeah, there's a outro to that.
I didn't hear that before. Hey, stranger. Is that a voice memo or what?
that's some boys, man.
That's a badass tune,
It
fellas.
is good, really good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you very much.
And you did all that yourself.
Yeah.
Recording,
in the basement,
everything.
and
That's all
we
Garret,
produced it. So it took a long. It takes a while for me. I'm just like Renzo. We're perfectionists.
Yeah.
So was Ray.
Yeah.
To a fault.
Yeah, like that song probably was like,
fault. Yeah.
dude, this whole EP probably should have gone out like 2 years ago, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we're just going and we changed some stuff, and I want to make sure it's that we both feel proud about it.
Well, you should.
And
the bass playing's outstanding. The guitar playing's outstanding. The vocals are fantastic.
Thank you very much.
The drummer's a badass. I'm gonna
Oh
go
my
ahead and
God,
throw
yeah,
that out there.
man.
Yeah, he's sick.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you guys like it. That's awesome.
That's excellent.
The thing that gets me is how hooky the chorus is. It's aggressive musically. The guitar's killer on it, but the vocals are just a nice melodic hooky chorus.
Yeah.
And then I really like
awesome.
I really like the bridge too. That it kind of breaks
Goes
down
spacey.
into spacey.
Yeah, it breathes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's important in your songwriting to you can't just pound people the whole song.
Right.
I'm going to be honest and say I questioned it the first time I heard it. I questioned it, and then the second time I was like, no, that's right.
It deserves to be there. Yeah,
I dug it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
So the other thing I wanted to ask about on that track was the background vocals.
Yeah, I was going there too. Go.
Yeah, the background vocals.
Is that all you?
Is that all you, Renzo, or stacking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Renzo.
So we just layer that thing.
That's what I said. I think that's all him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Renzo's insane, man. He's a great bass player and he's a great vocalist.
And a good dude too.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I mean, as far as vocals go, I try to keep it to where it's not too much. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to I'm trying to serve the music, if that makes sense, and kind of keep a balance as well. Keep a balance because I know everything we're doing is so aggressive and with the rhythms and shit, and it's almost like the contrast that you get with the nice vocals, and that's sort of what I was going for.
That's why I like it. I like it because I mean I've got some really close friends that do the screamer stuff, and they're unbelievable musicians, and I mean they're so good, and I love the music, but it's not my go-to. My everyday, if I'm working, just put it in and listen to. I like the heavy stuff still, but I like vocal, I like singing, and
a melody.
I like the melody. Yeah.
I'm 100% with you on that. I'm 100%. Like I have my moments with screaming and stuff like that, like very aggressive, but I really just love a good vocal line, just very beautiful sounding, no matter who it is, just make it
definitely
sound, it serves the music.
But I like to call it like every song needs to have a signature part or a melody. In this case it would be that chorus that it repeats and gets the brainworm thing going on. In Giza's case, it might be a lick that I play that it just anchors down a melody or a part that when you hear it again, you're like, oh, and I always reintroduce it. Like, if it's good, don't just play it once. Don't just play it twice.
No, yeah.
Go
to the hug, man.
Yeah, go to that pool, man, and just keep grinding that thing in there. But the syncopation on the intro lick and several times throughout the song, we were questioning what the heck is the time signature. It sounds so.
It throws you off, in a good way. Yeah,
but I was counting it.
It was definitely 4/4.
Yeah.
It's definitely 4.
That's a good. That's one of the songs that's 4 all the way through. But we might have odd meters here and there.
Yeah,
but yeah,
we play around with that before, but that's sort of our aim as well. Try to throw you off balance and then kind of bring you back to solid ground.
That's the beauty of absolutely. Yeah,
it's the push and pull of yin and yang.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
You need
that's a
to
good way
check
to put
out some really good friends of ours that we've had on the podcast. They're called Six Sense.
Yeah.
It's a husband wife team.
Oh, yeah?
And they do the growler stuff, the screamer stuff, but it's new metal, and
sick.
she's got a voice that is like like it's. I don't want to compare her to anybody, but I have to, just so you understand. So it's basically she goes from Screamer to Amy Lee.
Evanescence.
Wow.
From Evanescence.
Okay.
And
that's tough.
And they both growl when they're screaming together. They harmonize their scream. It's the fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen. And their band is unmatched. I mean, they're just so
Six Sense.
Sick
I'll check
Sense.
them out. I'll check them out right after this. Actually, I'll check them out.
They are so good, and they're the sweetest people I think I know.
And they're out of Arizona now, right?
Well, I mean, they're Canadian, and they lived in Chicago for a long time, and I think
they're in Arizona now. Yeah,
but very good friends of mine. Actually, Robbie, the husband, was in Stuck Mojo, who I worked for with Fozzy in 2016.
I know Fozzy.
So yeah, he's definitely. She was in a band called The Agonist, which I don't know if you've heard of that.
They're definitely worth checking out.
Which is another great band.
Six Sense.
So Garret, the intro obviously is kind of a clean telly tone. We never talked about your pedals, or what are you using for your overdrive and those types of things. And what's your amp? What are you playing through?
Yes, like I said, dude, it's going to be very bare bones. I hope, it's not too embarrassing, but so I have a multi pedal. It's nothing expensive.
Doesn't have
it's
to
like
be.
A Boss ME80, I believe. Boss ME80. That, and then for delay, I use a Canyon delay.
Electro harmonics.
That's it.
Is that the electro?
Yeah, that's it. So I'll use the distortion on the multi effects on the pedal, on the Boss pedal, pretty much, and also the compressor. It comes with a compressor as well.
Sure.
And I mess with it so much where it's just I can try. I feel like I can get like a good enough sound out of it.
Yeah.
I agree with Rick. Whereas sometimes the telly does sound pretty thin.
Yeah.
And I try to counteract that. I have, there's an EQ thing on the pedal.
Yeah.
So, I boost the mids a little bit, I boost the bass, and I pull down the treble, because I know Strats, like just single coils in general, they sound very harsh to the ears sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my two main pedals. And then what makes the sound could be even harsher too is I use a Fender Blues Deluxe.
Yep.
Reissue.
Yep.
120 watts. That's my main amp, tubed.
Yep.
And then even that amp will, everything combined can sound very harsh sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I try to counterbalance it with some EQing and stuff like that.
It's funny that you say you're playing the rig that you're playing this style of music.
Yeah.
The only other person I can think of. Yeah, I mean that doesn't at all sound like the rig I'm listening to.
It sounds like a Bonamassa rig.
Yeah. I know John 5 plays that's all he plays are tellies.
Telly. Yeah.
And so I guess I'm sitting here going, all right, I can justify what I'm hearing because that's obviously it happens.
Yeah.
When I first started playing guitar, it was very funk based. So I guess that's kind of where, having a Strat or a Telecaster was my go-to, or it was very attractive to me. But playing in bands as a guitar player over time and having an influence, my drumming influence kind of come into blend in with the guitar, I definitely got heavier and heavier and heavier as the more that I play guitar. And that's not even I'm glad you Run, but we probably have another song or two that we've been working on. That's probably crazier than that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No. When you recorded that, did you record the Fender amp, or did you have a direct signal coming from the pedal, or?
So recently I have been doing DI, but Run, both songs that we sent you are actually from the amp and from the rig and everything.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of post-production, I EQ'd it and stuff like that. So for this song, for Run, yeah, like that was a lot of post production as well. Yeah, a lot of EQ and compression, that type of thing.
Yeah. Here's where I'm going to lose Rick. So what what DAW are you using to capture everything?
I'm insulted.
Yeah, Studio One. I've been using Studio One for a long time.
Okay, so that's a Studio One is who's the man?
PreSonus.
PreSonus. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did you get lost there for a second?
I got lost on the DAW.
Ray.
I got lost.
I started off on Logic, but eventually I moved over to Studio One. I started with the free version, and then like eventually bought the pro version. And
yeah,
I've been stuck with that ever since. And I have had it probably for like 6 years now. So I've been using it for a long time. So
let me ask you this: in that realm, whenever I record, I'm a Pro Tools guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm recording to a click, right?
Yeah.
And then when you guys perform live, do you bring any of the studio stuff to the live performance, or meaning click tracks, possible backing tracks when you go into a solo, BGVs, any of that kind of stuff?
No, we're doing it like just live, you know. I've been kind of, and this is not a jab at any band or anything like that. I've kind of been against backing tracks and stuff. I feel like it kind of distracts me sometimes when I'm playing, because we've done that before. Like I've used in-ears as well, and it just distracts me, and it feels like it's taken away from when I'm playing, and it's taken away from the show sometimes. I feel like Hayden's such a solid drummer. Like he can. He's a human metronome, so it's like I feel like I'm confident not even having an ear or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I want to be traditional with the way that we play live, where it's just the three of us and we're just making noise.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. I will say though that so we use tracks and clicks, and if we wouldn't have had it the other night, we got a little wonky on
the very first song
and the intro,
which is part of the very first song. Well, the fuck do you think I'm talking about?
It's the intro, then it's the first song. But the point of
song two.
Song two. The point is at least having a click track at a minimum in your in-ears can pull you back.
Yeah, you can all land on your feet together.
I agree.
I can see the benefit too, because sometimes you go to a venue and the sound isn't the greatest. Sometimes you can't hear the guitar, can't hear vocals. And sometimes it's just horrible, man.
There's a huge benefit to it. Yeah,
right.
So that's a good segue to like venues. Where are you guys playing? What type of venues are you're currently doing?
Take over?
Yeah, we've played Smith's probably half a dozen times, I want to say.
529.
We've done 529. Yeah.
What else? We've done the Vinyl. It's a pretty cool venue too.
We played a bunch of places. I'm like drawing blanks right now, but we
played at Georgia Tech. We played at Georgia Tech. They have like their own.
What was that bar in East Atlanta? Renzo, do you remember the East Atlanta Village?
Sabbath Brewery.
Sabbath, yeah. That was a fun.
Too.
Yeah,
that was a fun place.
Have you done Star Bar? I think Star
Bar. We have. That was our last show, I believe, back in November, actually.
I think so. Yeah.
And then is it Furnace 41 down south?
Jonesboro.
We played Furnace.
That'd be good for you guys there. And what?
We've done it a few times.
What about Sweetwater in Lawrenceville?
Played Sweetwater.
Man,
we used to dominate Sweetwater for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
it was a cool venue for sure.
Yeah, they're turning things around there as far as like we played there and had like one of the best sounds that we've had. Like
oh man,
when was that? When was that, guys? When were you last played?
We played there
a couple of months ago.
A few months back. I mean, it's one of those things where any of the clubs that we've mentioned in the Atlanta area that are allowing original bands to come on and do their thing. You know, it's not a you know, it's not a venue where you're headlining and you're headlining and you have an opening act and you're on a bill with 4 other bands and you need to make friends with those bands and go, hey, you know, can we all use one drum kit? You know, that kind of thing, to make it better, a better experience for who? The people in the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's what it's really, all of this is all about. And that's kind of my point about talking about, you know, with backing tracks and stuff.
Well, if you don't do that, sorry, excuse me real quick.
No. I mean, like I said, I'm not like making a jab at people who do use it, because like I said, I've used it before. It just doesn't work necessarily for me. But then again, we were really lucky. And this is not a jab at you either, Rick, but it's like we got lucky with a really great drummer who was really tight. I'm sure you're really tight too, Rick.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, yeah. My only point to what Ray said is that for everybody sharing, you know, doing a night with 4 bands, sharing a kit, it's just so everybody can have stage time and we don't lose the crowd.
Yeah.
Let's just try to have a quick turnover, you know, quick changeover.
Right.
You know, that's all that.
Oh yeah, because we've played shows where, I mean, and not necessarily in Atlanta, but you know, with this one show we did, man, and this one band, they wanted to have all their rig, and you know, they took forever to set up, you know, just because they didn't want to share, you know, and I mean, like, we ended up playing for like 2 people because you know, we had to wait until like 1 a.m. and everyone was gone, but you know what I mean? So when everyone's on the same page, and you know, that really brings a show to the people, and you know, and because at the end of the day, you know, we're entertainers, you know, and you know, we want to cater to the crowds.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
it's easy to lose a crowd if you don't. If you
so
have
quick,
much,
man.
If you have too much time in between songs or in between setups of bands, that's why we pick certain bands to play with. Like we had Left Overture, that played with us the other night at Mad Life, and they played their hour. Chris, their drummer, he's one of the sweetest guys on the planet, was happy to play my kit.
Yeah,
he didn't change anything. I didn't have to change anything. They got done, got off the stage. We got up, kept the flow happening. Crowd was happy. Everything was great. So
and all said and done, both bands played, and we were done by.
Oh, I was still home by 10:30.
10.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, expecting people to come out and stay till 1 a.m. before you even go on is absurd.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And you don't smell like smoke.
Yeah.
Or chicken.
Yeah. Or chicken.
Fuck that. I'm done with it.
So it's an interesting realm that we're in right now with, you know, all the premier venues are going to have, you know, there's not a Toto tribute band. There needs to be a Toto tribute band.
Let's do it. We can pull it off.
We're not pulling that off. But there's a tribute band for you know who's making the money right now is Jimmy Buffett, the A1A guys up at. I bet they're making.
R.I.P. Yep.
Yeah.
But you know, as far as pulling off original music, I understand why clubs want to have 4 bands on.
It's too much in one night, though.
Yeah. It's way too much.
4 bands?
Yeah, 4 bands is way too much. You know, if it's, I like to do like our show and have, you know, an acoustic act in front of it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
something going the entire time.
Yeah, totally different. Yeah, but not just like, okay, here's 4 bands that sound very similar, doing similar stuff. You know, throw in do 3 bands, 3 bands tops. Start with an acoustic act, then go with something, you know, in your case maybe not prog, but you know, Americana, you know, and then boom, hit them with what you guys are doing. You know, but
what do you guys tell people that you guys are?
Yeah, what's your
what yeah, if somebody says what style of music do you play, what do you guys say?
We usually just say alternative, like alternative progressive rock, maybe. We even said alternative funk.
Okay.
Yeah, alternative
So I wasn't far off
with
with what I
funk
said.
elements, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and it's just the three of us, which is so crazy about it too. That we changed genres so much. If it was maybe if we had more players and stuff, it'd probably be more defined.
It's really cool. It's really cool. And the drummer that you have, what's his name?
Hayden Wall. Hayden Wall. Yeah, huge shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely. Between the three of you guys, the genre changes, the change ups between, and I've only heard one song.
Yeah.
So so you can imagine I'm looking forward to listening to more. Yeah. But how cool is it that he's such a good drummer? I could definitely hear Mike Portnoy. In his style, I could tell he's a definite Mike Portnoy fan. I know,
dude,
Mike
and he can
Portnoy,
also rock it with one bass pedal too, man.
I'm sure.
He doesn't do double. He doesn't do double.
Yeah.
And we play some heavy stuff sometimes.
I don't play double either. I don't do any. I mean, I'm the fastest drummer in Atlanta.
Liar. You're such a liar.
One pedal.
You should hear me with two though.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that drummer on Facebook that's just the fastest? He smokes while he's playing one-handed.
The Spaniard guy?
Yeah.
Spanish guy? Yeah.
He's a bad motherfucker.
One hand fucking playing all this crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an animal.
Yeah, he is an animal, man.
So you guys are a three-piece. I think they would be candidates to come in and do some live stuff too. Like, so we're gonna do Against the Fold coming up this weekend, and and they're just gonna sit down on the gear that we have, and we're gonna film it. So we're venturing out this weekend, and we're gonna start doing some live performances in here, and like your band would kind of perfectly fit.
Oh yeah,
the scenario in here. Although I do have a Hammond organ in here, we could have a keyboard player play, but down the road we should probably do something like that. How long a set do you guys have? What's your show? If you were to headline a show, what's your set?
Yeah, personally for me, I think with like a lot of our songs are just like, I think super energetic, and I'm worried that sometimes the audience will get exhausted after a while.
Mm-hmm.
So personally for me, I prefer shorter shows, whereas like we play like 6 or 7 songs and it's like 30 minutes.
Yep.
Just because, like the songs are just so like in your face, and it's just like, okay, it's like maybe sometimes I worry. She's like, okay, play something chill.
Yeah.
Like bring like a chill song, which we probably should work on. But
that's a great point. Yeah. And you're right. You have to do that.
Do you have ballads?
We have a few.
We do, right? Yeah. We have a few.
We have like I would say like 2 songs that are pretty relaxed in the most part, but still kind of like showcases what we're capable of, like still kind of like fits with the other songs in a way, but they're very more relaxed. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely do, but we don't ever want to throw those songs out very often, and it's probably because I'll be honest here, like Hayden loves the energetic stuff,
right.
Our drummer. So it's like
he can't lay back for one tune just to give the audience the fatigue. To take away that fatigue.
Yeah. We have thrown around like a song or two.
Especially when Whippin asks to play 45 minutes or something like that, or 50 minutes, then we kind of have to, throw something to chill in the middle.
Yeah. If it's like 45 minutes set, we'll definitely put like a couple songs in there where it's just like, okay, the crowd can take a breather.
Yeah, what ends up happening is that you'll end up with the crowd just kind of staring at you like kind of, like zombies, like, what's going on?
Yeah. Whoever stays, what the fuck?
Well, let's talk about how thought process and building a set. Like when we do ours, it's a banger, an intermediate, then a trippy, and then ballad. And it's kind of like, after reading the room, playing shows for many years in Atlanta, it's kind of built and designed around what the audience is going to be able to, handle up here, then bring it down a little bit, get artistic, and then ballad, and then bang them again. When you guys are thinking about building sets for, say, a 45-minute set, how do you go about, designing that show?
Or do you? Do you read the room?
Yeah.
No, we definitely do.
Yeah.
We do. And like, even with this EP, we've been talking about it, where it's like, we want to make sure like the songs kind of flow together, because the whole EP, I feel like, is kind of one song if you think about it. So that's how we approach the set as well. So yeah, we'll probably, like, the first song that we start off with is probably something pretty, I guess, Renzo, what do you think? Like, we play the song. There's a song that we have that's Whirlpool, which is pretty, it's a heavy song, but it's like, it has like a pretty, nice tempo to it. Very steady tempo to it. Then, like, we'll probably play, like, after that, a couple songs where, we kind of like up the ante a little bit. And then in the middle of the set, we'll put like a dynamic song, where one of the chiller songs. In fact, we have a song called Chiller, and it's, kind of fits. And then we'll bring it back up again. So it's kind of like, like ups and downs type of thing, like an up and down and then up again. And then we end with like a really big,
Yeah,
we've also structured sets where the first and last song are like the most memorable, or at least the ones we feel like are the most memorable.
Yeah.
And this sort of, and then everything else in the middle, but with dynamics and all that stuff. So, that's another approach that we've taken when building a set.
Yeah, I think it's important for bands to think about, okay, you've got a crowd captured for 35 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever your set is. It's important to think about them sitting in a chair, or in some cases, standing room only kind of thing, and how they're going to receive it. Your interpretation of your music and your delivery of your music is important to have dynamics, just like a song. If the song has a banging verse and chorus, and then that bridge we talked about earlier on Run, it gives the listener a minute to go, oh, okay, digest what I just heard. Now I'm breathing. I think a show should be very similarly thought out like that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's the first song.
Very dynamic.
Whoever said that was a great point. That like the very first song, when you come out, it's like, holy shit, that was great.
Yeah.
And in the very last song, that you want to leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you guys about a very simple device, in my case an iPhone. When you're sending Garret, when you're sending Renzo an idea, do you take your voice recorder on your phone and just go, hey dude, check this out, and
sometimes,
and just text it over? Or how do you guys transfer ideas back and forth? And Renzo, do you have ideas on bass, like, dude, check this out?
If I come up with an idea, I'll probably just record it through Studio One, whether with the amp or direct in. And that's usually how it starts, like to a metronome, and I'll send it to Renzo, because Renzo, just for his sake, like, if I ever send him something, I'm going to send it with the metronome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I hate doing stuff live. It might sound cool and stuff, but to help him out, and especially if it's just like a song I'm serious about, or like a riff I'm serious about, I'll send it to Renzo with the metronome. And
because there's been times where he sent me, stuff without the metronome, where he just takes it out, and it just
sounds
crazy. Like, what's going on? Like, please click, and then I get it,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
because I can get crazy sometimes with some of the riffs, and you never know. It was like, did you just change the time signature or what's happening right
And then
here?
he's like, no, it's straight 4/4. And I'm like, okay, that threw me off for a loop there, but okay, fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Whenever I send something to my guys in the bands, like I'll say, you know, A minor idea, 80 BPM, and 4/4. You know, like in the naming of the track before I send it over, I'll try to make sure that they can drop it into a DAW, assign it a BPM, and go. You know, that's kind of a good way to approach.
Yeah. And but it's cool too sometimes because like when he doesn't send me certain tracks without the click, the way we interpret things are so different that when we come together, like just that synergy between him and I writing something, it just turns into something completely different, sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's cool too,
That's like part of the sound too. It's like the fact that we have totally different like ways of approaching a song. I mean, it's not just like, hey, follow what I'm doing or something like that. We're both working on these songs together. Like I'll bring the riff to him, and then Renzo will be like, oh, what if we did this, or I'm gonna play it like this, and then it will make me think differently about the riff, and maybe I'll change something up to where it's like it just works. It just like comes together.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Now, when you were doing any of the pre-production or any of the idea flow type stuff, are you doing any virtual drums or like I use Tune Track products and
oh yeah same with me, but for the most part I should utilize that more. I use like Easy Drummer sometimes for like samples if I want like to like for Run, for example, that song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I used Easy Drummer. It might have been something else, but there is a sample that's kind of ducked under the snare. It's still his original snare, but there is a sample just to kind of keep it, consistent.
Yeah.
But as far as like adding like Easy Drummer on top of like a practice riff or something like that, I probably should do a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't do it as often as I should.
Yeah, I do that a lot actually. When I gave these guys the whole Giza show, it was like, here are the drums I programmed. Feel free to play anywhere in the playground of what that's doing. Do your thing. You be you. And the bass too. I recorded bass tracks and gave it to Michael, and it's like, feel free, interpret what I did here, but be you, do you. And
exactly, yeah.
And you, I think it's important to give your players in the band the freedom to be themselves. Don't just be a jukebox in a sense.
Yeah.
Play this. You can't be
No, I try to be as like conscious as possible. To not be like keep the ego at the door type of thing. Don't be a dictator.
Yeah.
I even told Renzo, do what you want to do. Like if you want to completely change it up, I'll follow your lead, man. I mean, he's also singing on some of these tracks as well.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of like we're working together. We're like basically, if this was a business, I mean, we're partners,
Yeah.
So,
and that's important to give everybody in the band, their opportunity to participate in, in the creative process. And then, do you find like when we get a song done and you're like, this is it, we've rehearsed it. Do you find like that? I'm still writing new parts to the show 2.5 years since COVID. My whole show started when COVID dropped, and it was like 45 days. You got to stay at home. I was like, dude, all right, I got to get some work done. And I'm still writing parts.
Yeah, same here. I mean, we're changing stuff up all the time, even with some of the older stuff that we have.
Yeah.
It's a constant process, and in fact, that's probably the reason why it's taken so long. It's taken us so long to release a lot of these songs, because both me and Renzo are perfectionists as far as like our playing, but also production wise. We want to make sure like I feel like once we put these songs out onto the internet, it's there. You know what I mean? And we want people to enjoy it. And even if it's only like 10 people who hear it, I hope those people are just blown away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Are there any artists that are there any independent artists that you're, kind of following that, they're doing it and they're writing it, recording it, putting it out, Spotify and YouTube or whatever they're doing, and they're successful at it. And are there any artists like that you're kind of following and mimicking or learning from?
Renzo, you wanna?
Not particularly, but I mean, man, when I go to some of these shows in Atlanta and I just see some of these bands that are just fucking amazing, it gives me like an edge, and it gives me also motivation, to just keep working at my craft. But I mean, there are a lot of bands out there that are just fucking killing it, and but I'm, like I said, I'm not particularly following, but there's a lot of talented people, here in our in Atlanta.
There are for sure.
I've been following. We played with this one band like 3 years ago or 3 years ago or something like that at the Drunken Unicorn. Called the band's called the Wine Lips or Wine Lips.
From Canada. And,
yeah. They were from Canada. They were like, I guess they're just doing a tour, like an East Coast tour. And just recently, like a couple weeks ago, I think they performed on Audio Tree, and now they're like showing up on my mixes that Spotify, like Spotify makes personal mixes for you, and they're showing up on there just randomly. I'm not even like looking them up really.
Yeah.
And now I'm listening to them like crazy. Like, holy crap! They just showed up on my mix, and now I'm hooked to them. They're great.
That is a little bit freaky. Like, I will just be thinking about something. It could be something crazy like I don't know,
a Schecter guitar or something.
Well, they know me. They know me big time. No, something crazy like, I think I should cut that tree down over there. I wonder what the best practice is for cutting that tree down. Next thing you know, just thinking about it, it's in all my feeds in my algorithm. I'm like, whoa, this is too weird.
It's getting weird. It really is getting weird. Yeah, with AI and stuff now.
Yep.
Oh God,
it's getting scary.
Well, we need to figure out how to use AI to the advantage of
before they actually take over music.
Yeah. Well, I asked Chat GPT to write me a song in the key of A major and make it a rock and roll song in the key of A major, and it pumped back lyrics, verse, chorus, bridge, everything. And it even knew to sing about, sunshine and lollipops because it's in A major instead of A minor.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's incredible.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before they're just making music, and that's it.
I mean, you can master music through AI now, right?
Yep.
That's true. Yeah. Technically. I don't think it's any good, but
it will be though.
Wait another year. Yeah,
right. It will. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, let's get this plane landed. And currently, when you guys you're working on the EP and you're getting ready to do the release, how are you going to go about doing the release? Are you going to do Spotify? Are you using TuneCore? Are you using DistroKid? Are you what's the game plan for the launch?
DistroKid is what we're using. It's what we've been using for a very long time. We have some songs on Spotify, obviously already, but so yeah, DistroKid. As far as like promoting it, I think we're just gonna try and I guess social media. See, this is the part where I kind of suck at doing this.
Yeah, both.
This is a little bit better.
It's important though. It's important.
Yeah, it's very important.
I know that's like the most important part.
Yeah.
The marketing part. Yeah.
But marketing, but I mean, we're gonna keep recording. Like, we're gonna probably do some music videos and stuff like that.
That was my next
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And
Yeah, so music videos is that's a whole nother conversation. I think it's kind of important.
It is. It definitely is.
But your music video needs to be 46 seconds long.
That's not true. I disagree. It got my other band an award this year for original band
songwriting
best single in the International Singer-Songwriters Awards.
Wow. Congrats. That's cool.
Yeah, we got it's pretty cool. I mean, it looks like a crystal. It was like being on it was surreal. Anyway, I think videos are important. I think we should do one.
Yeah.
I think we should all play together because I believe that I feel like you guys are along the same vein of music that we are. As far as if we did a show together, it would gel well.
Yeah.
We're down. I mean, I don't know about you, Garret, but
yeah. I mean, we're always down.
Hell yeah.
We just need to find the proper venue, and they're around. You know, we could even hopefully maybe get into Mad Life together or a place like.
Yeah.
You know.
That'd be cool.
But your music and our music, I think, would work together well. I've been thinking that the entire
Hell
time.
yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that the lineup would be Ghosthead against Fold and Giza.
Yeah.
All power trios too, right?
It. No more.
No more than 3 bands in my opinion.
I feel like that's been the trend with us too. We've always played with power trios. That's perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Good guys.
That
good
would
music.
be a great show. Yeah.
All right. Well, on the way out, tell everybody where they can find you guys on your socials. You know, shows that you have coming up. What do you have coming up next?
So right now we're just kind of focusing on the EP.
Yeah.
No shows at the moment. We're recording new material still. But the EP should be out within sometime in October. We haven't finalized a date yet, but it'll be in October. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Just look up Ghosthead. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So on that note, doing the research prior to the show, is it Ghosthead one word? Is it Ghosthead Atlanta? Is it how do they find you?
So it could be Ghosthead Atlanta. It depends.
It's Ghosthead Official on Instagram. If you look
Ghosthead Official on Instagram.
Yes. Yeah. Ghosthead Official. And
it's GH Bands on Facebook.
One word. Ghosthead. Yeah.
Okay, so one word. All right.
Yeah.
Because when I started looking, I was like, many things were popping up, and the band Ghost is kind of.
Oh yeah.
I started getting
the place right now.
Yeah, I started kind of getting some of that stuff, and but it's cool. Well, guys, we really appreciate.
Yeah,
you
make
guys.
sure you friend us both on Facebook so we can see.
We'll do for sure. Yeah.
What you got going on.
Yeah, or
absolutely,
or the podcast, and then your YouTube
and the podcast.
Yeah, your YouTube channel. Get that to us as well, so that we can put it in the bio of the video.
For sure.
That's good.
So hey guys, we appreciate you coming on, and we'll be talking and trying to get.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
it's been a great pleasure.
So
Great talking to you guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Same.
You guys
Likewise.
have a good night.
Have a good one.
You too.
See ya.
You're watching the Original Music Podcast with your hosts Raymond Hems and Rick Gaffman.